In 2025, the global immigration landscape is changing fast. While many countries are opening their doors wider than ever, others are slamming them shut, hard. Whether it's due to political shifts, economic struggles, national security concerns, or rising anti-immigrant sentiment, some nations have made it clear, foreigners are no longer welcome. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 countries where immigrants are not allowed in 2025, places that have imposed harsh immigration bans, frozen visas, or made it nearly impossible for newcomers to settle. From controversial policies to border crackdowns, the message is clear: not here, not now. If you're thinking about moving abroad, these are the countries to cross off your list, at least for now. Number 10, Israel. Now, if you're Jewish, Israel practically rolls out the red carpet for you. But for everyone else, it's a different story altogether. In 2023, Israel received around 10,000 asylum applications. Want to guess how many were accepted? Less than 100. That's a 1% acceptance rate, folks. You've got better odds of getting struck by lightning while riding a unicycle. Israel's also home to about 100,000 legal foreign workers. That might sound like a lot, but in a country of 9 million, it's just a drop in the bucket. And for these workers, the path to permanent residency is about as clear as mud. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded, technically possible, but good luck figuring it out. The country's stance on immigration is complex, to say the least. It's a balancing act between maintaining Israel's Jewish character and dealing with the realities of a diverse region. But for many would-be immigrants, Israel's policies feel less like a balance and more like a brick wall. Number 9, Qatar. Picture this: a tiny nation of just 2.9 million people, where a staggering 88% are expatriates. That's Qatar for you. But don't let those numbers fool you. Qatar's doors might seem wide open, but they're actually more like a revolving door that rarely stops spinning. In 2023, Qatar issued about 200,000 work visas. That's a lot, right? Well, here's the catch. Almost none of these workers can call Qatar home permanently. The country's permanent residency scheme is so exclusive, it makes getting into an elite college look easy. Since the program started, fewer than 1,000 people have been granted permanent residency. That's like winning the lottery, but with even worse odds. For the vast majority of Qatar's foreign workers, life is a constant balancing act. They're essential to the country's economy, but they're always aware that their stay is temporary. It's like being invited to a party but never being allowed to sit down. You're there, but you're not really there, you know what I mean. Number 8, United Arab Emirates, where 88% of the population are expatriates. Sounds immigrant-friendly, right? Well, not so fast. In 2023, the UAE was home to about 8.7 million expats. That's a lot of people living away from home. But here's the kicker. Almost none of them can call the UAE their permanent home. It's like being stuck in the world's fanciest hotel. Nice to visit, but you can never own a room. The UAE did introduce a golden visa scheme, which sounds fancy, doesn't it? Since 2019, they've handed out over 6,000 of these visas. But in a sea of millions of expats, that's like finding a golden ticket in your chocolate bar. It happens, but don't hold your breath. For the vast majority of foreign workers in the UAE, life is a constant reminder that they're guests. They make up 95% of the workforce, building skyscrapers, running businesses, and keeping the country going. But at the end of the day, their status is as temporary as a sandcastle on the beach. Number 7. China, the world's most populous country, isn't exactly rolling out the welcome mat for newcomers. In fact, getting permanent residency in China is about as rare as finding a needle in a haystack, a really, really big haystack. As of 2023, China had a foreign population of about 1 million. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, not when you consider that China's total population is over 1.4 billion. That means foreigners make up less than 0.1% of the population. It's like being the only fish in an ocean of, well, Chinese fish. Now, let's talk about permanent residency. In 2023, fewer than 10,000 foreigners held permanent residency in China. To put that in perspective, you have a better chance of becoming a millionaire than getting permanent residency in China. It's like China's saying, sure, you can visit, but don't even think about staying. China does issue about 400,000 work visas annually, and they host around 500,000 foreign students. But for most of these folks, their time in China comes with an expiration date. It's like being on a really long vacation. Eventually, you've got to go home. Number 6. Russia, the largest country in the world by land area, but when it comes to welcoming immigrants, it's not exactly winning any popularity contests. In 2023, Russia was home to about 11.6 million foreigners. That might sound like a lot, but in a country of 144 million, it's just a small slice of the pie. And here's the thing. Russia isn't too keen on that slice getting any bigger. Each year, Russia issues around 150,000 temporary residence permits. But don't let the word temporary fool you. For many, it's as permanent as it gets. Getting actual permanent residency, that's about as easy as teaching a bear to ride a bicycle. And if you're thinking of sneaking in, think again. Russia deports over 100,000 people annually. That's like filling a small stadium with people and then telling them all to go home. And they estimate they've got about 3 million illegal immigrants. That's a lot of people living in the shadows. For those who do manage to stay, life isn't exactly a walk in the park. Russia's got a reputation for xenophobia, especially towards folks from Central Asia and the Caucasus. It's like being invited to a party where nobody really wants you there. Not exactly the warmest welcome, is it? Number 5. Poland, a country that's made it crystal clear. They're not big fans of immigration, especially from outside Europe. In 2023, Poland received about 2,800 asylum applications. Now, you might think, hey, that's not too bad. But here's the kicker. Only about 15% of those applications were accepted. That's like applying to 100 jobs and only getting 15 interviews. Not great odds. Poland does issue around 300,000 temporary residence permits annually, mostly to Ukrainians. But don't get too excited. Temporary is the key word here. Poland's government has been pretty vocal about keeping Poland, well, Polish. And if you're thinking of sneaking across the border, think again. In 2023, Poland caught and detained about 5,000 illegal immigrants. That's like filling up a high school auditorium with people who tried to sneak in. Poland's stance on immigration is like a no vacancy sign on a hotel. They might let you stay for a night, but don't even think about moving in permanently. Number 4. Hungary, a country that's taken border control to a whole new level. Picture this: a fence stretching 523 kilometers along Hungary's southern border. That's longer than the distance from Los Angeles to San Francisco. In 2023, this fence prevented over 10,000 attempts at illegal border crossing. That's like stopping a small town from sneaking into the country. When it comes to asylum seekers, Hungary's not exactly rolling out the welcome mat. In 2023, they received about 1,200 asylum applications. Want to guess how many were accepted? Around 10%. That's like applying to 10 colleges and only getting into one. And it's not even your safety school. Hungary's government has been pretty clear about its stance on immigration, especially from non-European countries. It's like they've put up a big sign saying, thanks, but no thanks. For many would-be immigrants, Hungary's policies feel less like a door and more like a wall. A really, really long wall. Number 3. Japan, land of the rising sun and setting hopes for immigrants. In 2023, Japan's foreign population was about 2.9 million. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, not when you consider that's only 2.3% of the total population. It's like being the only gaijin in the village, because you probably are. Now, let's talk about refugees. In 2023, Japan accepted, drumroll, please, 47 refugees. No, that's not a typo. Out of thousands of applications, only 47 got the golden ticket. You've got better odds of winning a local lottery than getting refugee status in Japan. Japan does issue about 200,000 work visas annually, and they've got around 800,000 permanent residents. But in a country of 126 million, that's like a drop of soy sauce in the ocean. And getting that permanent residency, it's about as easy as eating ramen with chopsticks while riding a bullet train. Technically possible, but good luck with that. Japan's aging population and shrinking workforce have led to some talks about increasing immigration. But so far, it's been mostly talk. For now, Japan remains one of the toughest countries to immigrate to. It's like they've put up a closed sign, and they're not planning on flipping it to open anytime soon. Number 2, Saudi Arabia, where oil flows freely but immigration, not so much. In 2023, Saudi Arabia was home to about 10.5 million foreign workers. That's a third of the population. But here's the catch. Almost none of them can call Saudi Arabia home permanently. It's like being invited to a years-long party but never being allowed to crash on the couch. Saudi Arabia operates under something called the kafala system. Think of it as a sponsorship system on steroids. Your employer doesn't just give you a job, they essentially control your legal status in the country. It's like your boss holds the key to the country, and they can lock you out at any time. Now, Saudi Arabia did introduce something called the Premium Residency Scheme in 2019. Sounds fancy, right? Well, it had only a few thousand applicants. To put that in perspective, you've got better odds of becoming a Saudi prince than getting permanent residency there, and naturalization. Forget about it. Saudi Arabia naturalizes only a few hundred people per year. It's like winning the lottery, but the prize is a Saudi passport and the odds are, well, let's just say you shouldn't quit your day job. For the millions of foreign workers in Saudi Arabia, life is a constant reminder that they're guests in the kingdom. They're essential to the economy, but their status is as temporary as a mirage in the desert. One day you're there, and the next, poof. Number 1, North Korea, where immigrant is about as foreign a concept as free speech. Let's start with some numbers. How many immigrants does North Korea accept each year? Drumroll, please. Virtually zero. That's right, folks. North Korea's immigration policy is basically a big, fat, nope, written in neon lights. Now, you might be thinking, surely some people visit North Korea, right? Well, you're not wrong. North Korea does issue about 5,000 tourist visas per year. But calling these people tourists is like calling a fish in a bowl a deep-sea explorer. These visits are strictly controlled, usually limited to a few days, and you're about as free to roam as a theme park ride on a fixed track. As for foreign residents in North Korea, there are estimated to be fewer than 1,000. And we're not talking about your average Joes looking for a fresh start. These are mostly diplomats and aid workers. It's like being part of the world's most exclusive club, but the membership perks are, let's just say they're unique. Refugees. In North Korea, these concepts are about as welcome as a vegetarian at a barbecue festival. The country doesn't accept refugees, and the idea of someone seeking asylum in North Korea is, well, let's just say it's not a popular life choice. North Korea's approach to immigration is less like a policy and more like a fortress. It's as if they've taken the concept of a gated community and applied it to an entire country. The gates are closed, the walls are high, and the welcome mat, well, it's been in storage since forever. For the handful of foreigners who do end up in North Korea, life is under a microscope. Every move is watched, every interaction is monitored. It's like being the star of your own reality show, but the producers are a bit strict and there's no option to vote yourself off the island. So there you have it, folks. North Korea, where immigrant is a foreign concept in every sense of the word. It's not just that the door is closed, it's like they've welded it shut, put a padlock on it, and then built a wall in front of it for good measure. And there you have it, folks, the 10 countries where becoming an immigrant is about as easy as nailing jelly to a wall. From North Korea's ironclad isolationism to Qatar's revolving door of temporary workers, these nations have perfected the art of saying no to newcomers. But let's not forget, behind these policies and numbers are real people, dreams, and stories. Whether it's the construction worker in Dubai longing for permanence, the refugee hoping for a safe haven in Japan, or the student dreaming of a life in China. Each represents a human desire for a better life. As we wrap up this journey through the world's most restrictive immigration policies, it's worth pondering, in an increasingly interconnected world, what does the future hold for these nations? Will they continue to build walls, or will they eventually build bridges? One thing's for sure, as long as there are people seeking a better life and nations guarding their borders, the dance between immigrants and immigration policies will continue. It's a complex, often controversial topic, but one thing's certain, it's never boring. So, the next time you're feeling frustrated about your own country's immigration system, just remember, it could be worse. You could be trying to immigrate to North Korea. Now that's what I call a challenge. Thanks for joining us on this eye-opening journey. Until next time, keep your passports handy and your dreams big. You never know where life might take you.